Yeah. Good to hear. Where's everyone at tonight?
Joining you from the district office.
Oh, hi. Ah, there we go. Okay, Jody, Jamie, Ryan, Stephanie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay. Okay, well, anyone else that wants to go ahead and join in is going to have to go, but I would like to, for the sake of being on time, start this meeting. So we're going to go ahead and call to order, and please rise for the flag salute. Eric, thank you. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call of officers.
Jamie Bailey, board member.
Oh, I said officers.
Stephanie Smith, board member.
Ryan
Jody
Costelli,
Thompson.
board member.
Jody Thompson, board member.
Chris Nesmith, superintendent.
Delaney Hanson, student representative.
Bernadette Bauer, board member.
Eric Smith, staff.
Sunshine Perry, staff.
Mark Keating, staff.
Lisa Arnold, staff.
Okay. We'll go ahead and move forward with approval of board meeting minutes from September 8th, 2021.
I make a motion for the approval of board meeting minutes for September 8th, 2021.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. There's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, letters. Diana Swanson, retire letter.
One moment, let me load that. Okay, just Diana's letting know that she'll be retiring from the Elma School District as of September 1st, 2021. And we thank Diana for her time with the Elma School District.
Thank you. Jordan Peterson, hire letter.
The letter from Caleb Bogar, our director, our transportation supervisor. This letter is to recommend that Georgia Peterson be approved for hire to fill the currently posted bus driver position with the Elma School District Transportation Department. Present on the interview committee were Heidi Pekin himself. Georgia has experience in the field of pupil transportation previously with the Montesano School District and for the past 2 years, she's been a substitute driver with the Elma School District. It's the recommendation that the board approve the hiring of Georgia Peterson at the earliest opportunity with a scheduled start date of September 23rd. Ready for
Noah McGaffey, please.
Dear, this is from our athletic director, Rob Ohashi. Dear Elma School Board, on behalf of the interview committee, Ron Clark, Kathy Ferrier, and Rob Ohashi, I recommend the hiring of Noah McGaffey as an Elma Middle School football coach. Despite Noah has youth football coaching experience in the community, and as a volunteer at the Elma Middle School, he possesses the necessary skills to coach at this level. Coach Clark is confident he will be a benefit to the student athletes in the Elma football program. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, consent agenda.
I move for the approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion made and seconded for the approval of the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, discussion items. First discussion item is quarantine student home support plan. Superintendent Nesmith.
Yeah, we currently have an uptick of students going in quarantine. Close contact quarantine is any student within 3 feet of another student and 6 feet of a staff member. We want to make sure that we are still delivering the best educational program available for our students. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with East Grace Harbor High School with Ms. Crawford, who's currently running an open house. And this one is pretty simplistic because the beauty of East Grace Harbor High School, that's not what I wanted, is this is kind of aligns out with East Grace Harbor High School's really traditional program that they already provide our students. So at East Grace Harbor High School, they're maintaining direct contact with student parent guardian via phone, text, and or email. And they're in the process of developing formal letters to really help make sure that families understand how to stay up on schoolwork. Students have access to their Chromebooks, and all assignments have been posted within Google Classroom. And also students have an alternative way to turn in assignments that they're supported and encouraged to kind of be able to turn in however they can. East Grace Harbor High School is a standards-based school. So a lot of what Julie has been doing and leading her staff in has really been consistent even pre-COVID. So for her, it was really just carrying many of the pre-COVID supports for students into this post-COVID world. Some of the barriers that she is working through is just making sure that they have a close relationship with students. That way they can kind of deliver those kind of independent structures. Some students, need to bring things in. We can't have point of contact. So we have principals just driving out, making contact with students, picking up work. So I'm just really appreciative of the work that Julie has been doing over at East Grace Harbor High School, and hope that she's having a successful, meeting with families tonight. So
Thank you for that. Okay, so so we'll move along from that onto the board presentation of home support plan.
it'll be Elma Elementary with Mr. Mark.
Put it in elementary. Okay, Mr. Keating.
All right, good evening. So we kind of chunked this into a couple different categories: communication, types of supports, how we're going to collect completed work, and then how are we going to eliminate barriers. So much of what we're going to do in terms of communication is what we did last year. Our teachers got really good at developing relationships with our parents, and to be honest with you, they're usually the first line of defense in terms of parents communicating. So teachers and staff will communicate with parents through a number of different platforms. We're going to use Class Dojo again. Some of our grade levels use Google Classroom. We also have email, phone, and in person. What we are asking teachers to do is after 2 days of an absence, a student has been gone for 2 days, to reach out, much like we would have reached out in the past for our check-ins during remote learning. And then they'll talk through the plan for home sport. You can see the second bullet here, communication is going to be for the purpose of sending instruction, receiving and completing work, the completed work. For check-ins, this is going to be really vital, and identifying any barriers and eliminating those. If we look at the next slide here, what are the types of support? So what I want you to know about this is that at the elementary level, because we have many developmental levels, the type of support is going to vary tremendously. So what I've shared with you on the screen are the various types of support we are going to provide parents at home. Now, it could be one of these, it could be multiple of these. It really depends upon the developmentally appropriateness of it for the particular student. As an example, we've got listed on here, Chromebooks might be sent home to complete various online activities. At this point, kindergartners haven't had enough experience with devices for us to feel confident to do that. So they'll rely more on paper pencil packets. It also could depend on the individual student within a grade level. But some of the examples would be paper pencil packets, journal writing, Pocket Pals. Most of you are familiar with those. If you're a parent, you know what a Pocket Pal is. They send a book in a pocket, and the parent and the student read it together. Daily read to selves for the older kids. Self support. We're going to use check-ins like we did last year, and we're going to use Second Steps curriculum. I wanted to share with you just briefly, the Second Steps curriculum, by the way, is it used to be called Starburst. But as an example for K2, we have daily check-ins with feeling charts, social studies, or social stories, sorry. There'll be pictorial activities. Some examples could be temperature thermometers, coloring sheet of how they're feeling or drawing of different sad, happy faces, those kinds of things. 3 through 5, grades 3 through 5, daily check-ins with a feeling chart as well. But some of their examples of what will be happening will be more of their own writing. So writing something about themselves, writing about something they're looking forward to, writing a positive thing about them that they'd like to share with a friend, so on and so forth. And specific topics could range from emotional management, problem solving, self-awareness, social awareness, or empathy and kindness. So we have a large array of activities that we could be using for SEL. Some of our grade levels, kindergarten, for example, use social studies and read alouds as well. So we're not just locked into Second Steps. A lot of it will depend on the relationship that the teacher has with the student as well. Chromebooks can be sent home to complete. We have a large array of different activities that can be completed using the Chromebooks. Teachers have gotten very good at finding and utilizing online resources. Some of the examples could be ELA and iReady math, core curriculum, all that is online. Intervention and enrichment through iReady, both ELA and math. Online lessons, including ELA, math, science, social studies through Scholastic News, articles or videos. We have ReadWorks, we have Epic Reading, ELA math and math videos from Teacher Toolbox in our core curriculum. And academic videos that can be linked to Google Classroom or links sent out via Class Dojo. We also have some academic online games that can be popular with the kids. So how are we going to collect work? One of the things that we had talked a lot about is we're still wanting to limit the amount of activity in our main office. So completed work will be sent back electronically. Parents can take a picture and send it back either through Class Dojo, Google Classroom, or through email. Or if that doesn't work for the parent, the student may bring that completed work back on the date of return. And then finally, how are we going to eliminate barriers? Like I said earlier, that really starts with the teacher in the beginning communication, but they'll be barriers will be identified and eliminated by teachers, administrators, and other building and district staff. So the process that usually runs is a teacher has a check-in with a parent. We identify a barrier that's brought to my attention or the office's attention, and when we find a way to solve it. And the good news is we have a pulse on a lot of those families that we know already have barriers from last year. So a lot of that identification has already happened. And much of what we would do is a lot of home visits. We did a lot of home visits last year. So we have the ability to jump in a car, go to the house, deliver work, do a check-in, have a social story with the kid, just see how things are going. Any questions about any of that?
Yeah, I have a question. How do you feel that the participation rate or understanding of how to utilize the Google Classroom or Class Dojo, is that on a higher percentage? Are the families are picking that up and able to utilize that well?
Yeah, many of those families are, but I mean, I would say most of them are, but we still have families who haven't engaged through those particular platforms. And those are parents that we know already have those barriers. So we'll be reaching out in
Okay.
different ways. But yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of
Okay.
participation that way.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else have a question? Comment?
Just that behind each of those slides, Mark, I know is an incredible amount of work that those don't begin to really give credit to. So
Yeah.
just a huge appreciation for trying to move obstacles that constantly keep changing. So thank you.
Kudos to our office. I tell you what, this thing hit us like a tidal wave with the number of kids that have been out with just illnesses. And so you guys know, as a precaution, parents are doing a great job of keeping those kids home for the most part, but we've been able to identify some kids during school and get them home. And it has been a tremendous effort on our entire staff, but really some big kudos go out to our office staff. They are really stepping up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being having the willingness to work with the families and everyone. This is a collective effort. So to keep us moving in the right direction. So thank you very much.
I really want to thank Mark Keating and Greg Scroggins. I mean, and just their staff. Mark was having an uptick of students with symptoms, sent a letter out to families, and then brought the number of quarantine way down. I mean, just the proactivity on how we can keep the Elma School District has been impressive. I don't know if you know, but keeping kindergartners outside of a bubble would be, really, really difficult to pull off. And Mark's team have had some, hiccups and have adjusted to ensure that we're keeping all kids in the Elma School District. So just thank you to Mark and how much they've been able to kind of learn and pivot. So Mark, just great job.
We have a great staff. They're willing to go the extra mile to keep kids in school.
Yes, thank you. Thank you again. Okay, next up, we have Miss Perry from the middle school.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Let me share my screen. I'm trying to. Can you guys see that? Okay.
Yes, we can.
I have some stuff blocking my screen there. So there we go. Okay, so this is our support plan. When we are tracking our absences, first let me say these are fake students over here. And so those are just made up names, but this is a small chunk of a very large worksheet that we're working with. And so when our nurse informs our attendants that we have student that is out, they are going in and entering that into a spreadsheet so that our staff knows which of the students we're aware of. Some of our students and their parents, they inform our front office staff. And then like with Mark, some of them inform the teachers. And so we were brainstorming ways that we can make sure that we catch them all. And so this is a document, like I said, this is only 2 lines of a large document that where we put them in there. When the student is going to be missing school, we put the days in that we know they're going to be absent. And then each of our subject areas put in there the communication that they've had home and how they are delivering that instruction. So not necessarily what their assignments are, but how they've delivered that instruction and the communication that they've had with the student. And so that way, any of our support staff that's working with our students or anybody else knows what that is going to look like for each of their classes. When somebody is able to come and pick up their materials, for some of our students, the absence snuck up on them, so they still have things in their lockers. For others, they have things at home that they don't, that they can use at home. So if they have things at school that they need to either pick up or we deliver home. And so we make those arrangements with the families as needed. And so the teachers enter this, and then in the office or whoever it is that delivers will go in and put a note in that we've delivered the materials to them. On the end here, I can't see it because of the way my screen is set up, but hopefully you can see that on the end, there's a section in there for support. And so our support team meets regularly to assign a support person to each of our students. And that support person reaches out to them to check on them and their families to see how they're doing, if there's anything that they need, whether it's that they don't have internet, so we have to come up with something different for them, if they need materials delivered, if they need check-in with counselor, whatever that looks like, we make those arrangements. We have students who meet with their BHR counselors on our campus or other kinds of therapies and support systems, and we make sure that we get that aligned for them for what that student and that family needs. And so it's individual. It depends on what they need as to what that's going to look like. And so then who their support person is and the contacts that they've made with the family is put in there too, so we can make sure that each student has that set up. So for long-term absences supporting students, I said this already, that our support staff meets regularly. We have a team of people that meet, and one of the many things that they do is assign a support person to each of the students. And so we have that contact person that will reach out to them. We work with the students and families to create an individualized plan. And so that's just finding out what their needs are and how can we meet those needs. And that often includes delivering of materials, setting up hotspots, setting up their counseling services, setting up regular appointments with our counselor or other people that they may need. And then keeping the families informed. And so I've done this flyer because there's been a lot of questions about what do we do. I'm showing it to you guys here first. And then after this, we'll send it out to our families. I know this is really teeny tiny print here in the presentation, but I can send it to you individually if you'd like. That just lets the family just know what is it that they need to do, or how to contact us in order to keep learning going while they're at home. And so it talks about contacting our office, letting us know. It's got the phone numbers in there about contacting their teachers, what we can do to help them if they don't have internet, and how they turn in their work, and what to do if they're sick. That our primary goal is for them to get healthy, and then what support is available to them. And so it's just a brief overview of what we have available to them and how they can reach out to us, or how we plan to reach out to them, so that they know what the plan is, and to keep that going. I will say Bernadette asked about I think that's the last one. Bernadette asked about engagement from families. And for us, so far, it's been really high. Our families are emailing teachers regularly. Students are emailing teachers, checking their Google Classrooms, turning things in. And so we've been really pleased with that engagement from our students that have had to stay home. And then I also wanted to make sure that I mention our nurses are just absolute heroes to us right now. A lot of this work could not happen if it wasn't for our nurses. And so I just wanted to do a quick shout out to Nurse Kim at the elementary school, Casey at the middle school, and Kathy at the high school that is helping high school and East Grays Harbor. They are putting in long hours and doing a lot of hard work to keep our kids safe and healthy, and then also keeping our staff informed of which kids are going home, so that we can make sure that they don't get forgotten and we know who's going to be at home so we can reach out to them. So with that, any questions?
Great. I don't have any, but Sunshine, that's wonderful. Thank you for touching on that for us.
I love I mean, I can't see it. I'm trying to like zoom in closer at Sunshine, but I just can't say enough how much I think these ready to go forms, how important they are, because I think for parents, I mean, all of us who have even been doing this day in, day out, it's still, you get lost in the, like, wait, what do I need to do? Or how many days for this or that? And I think to have it so clear and in writing, even to help facilitate for the office staff, so they can quickly just, well, hey, we have this great resource. Can I email it to you? Can I send it to you? I really feel like if I was the parent and I'm getting this call, or my brain's not even able to really think very clear, but to be able to have something in place. And I know on the district website, I'm actually looking at right now, and there's a phenomenal flow chart that's now there that looks amazing. I think that COVID information maybe is just kind of getting updated, but that flow chart, I mean, honestly, we stole them today for the daycare and printed them in color and laminated them and stuck them all over our wall, so we can kind of go, okay, this is what needs to happen under whatever conditions. So thank you to all of the people who are putting together the kind of the tangible pieces of COVID that I think families need to have access to.
Most definitely.
John, I really want to thank you. I mean, really, the staff's been coming together as a team and really making sure that our students understand. And it's a big shift from elementary to middle school, and to make it so our students know how to stay, on top of their work, because we've had both students and quarantined, and that's a big shift. So we've even had to realize how can we support our students as well as the teacher who's gone for our students in our place. So just a good job on how we can do this, how we can communicate better for our families, right? We're in the trenches and we're doing this, and what starts to become normal for us, kind of quits becoming normal for our families. So just trying to make sure that we're a good partner with our community.
Great. Great. Thank you again, Sunshine, very much. Moving on to procedure 3122. At this time, we're not quite ready to present this, so I'm going to ask for a motion to go ahead and table this until our next meeting.
I will move that we table procedure 3122 until our next meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Communications and comments. Do we have anybody from ETO? EESP? ECOPA? Admin? Any persons to be heard or public comment? Good news. Chris, that's you.
One would be tonight is Bernadette's birthday. So
Thank you.
we will save Bernadette from our singing though. So I don't.
I'm really sad Eric didn't hack in and change her name. Birthday girl or something.
I just want to make all of my former teachers who may or may not be present, and I shall not name you, I hope that me being 48 makes you feel young. I hear you loud and clear. Well, thank you for that, Chris.
No
I'm
worries.
getting younger by the day.
You know it.
We've had some incredible work done within our, in our response through trying to have students back to learning. As we've said before, we have a priority to have every student in the Elma School District here learning every day. That's a top goal. We have some bumps along the way. I spent all day Monday. I spent much of Monday morning checking in on all the buildings to figure out where are some of our potential pitfalls. And we had a large number of teachers reach out to our facilities program, our facilities department to request help on how we can make adjustments to make it so that we can dramatically reduce our close contact quarantines. And it really has shown just in the last couple of days. Elma also has we're one of the few districts in Grace Harbor who has an approved learn to return plan, which shortens our COVID quarantine time from 14 days down to 8 days with the use of our assessments. And that's just a huge thank you to the Elma Pharmacy. Without the Elma Pharmacy having the PCR tests on hand, we would have never been able to bring our students back. So I will say the Elma School District does have one of the absolute shortest quarantine periods in the entire county. And it's really just been our community coming together to support us. So good news is just a huge thank you to Elma Pharmacy for that work. So we have a few other things in our superintendent report, but that's really what we have going on for our good news right now.
Great, thank you so much, Chris. That's great news, not just good news. We have new business, approval of the Viva sick leave agreements. And these are for the ACOPA, the ETO, and the EESP.
Sorry.
I'll move.
I'm sorry. I don't know if this needed to speak.
Are we ready for a motion?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. I'll move for the approval of Viva sick leave agreements with ECOPA, ETO, and EESP.
I'll second it.
there's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Brian, are you abstaining?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you for that. Approval of the ACOPA CBA agreement.
I'll make the motion for the approval of the COPA CBA.
I'll second
There's been a
that.
motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of the EESP MOU for COVID 21-22.
I make a motion for the approval of EESP MOU for COVID 21-22.
I'll second that.
It's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Approval of the ECOPA MOU COVID 21-22.
I'll move for the approval of ECOPA MOU for COVID 21-22.
I'll second it.
It's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Approval of the ETO MOU COVID 21-22.
I'll
I'll
make a
move
motion.
for, go ahead.
Go
Steph.
ahead, Jim.
I'll move for the approval of ETO MOU for COVID 21-22.
And I'll second it.
Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Then I'll abstain.
Thank you, Ryan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Approval of the CTSLO overnight out of state field trips. Presenter is Christy Kershaw. Christy, are you here? Yes.
Bernadette,
Bernadette.
Yeah.
did we miss the 2025 booster fundraiser?
What? Yes, Ryan? Sorry, Christy. Pause,
I'll
please.
forgive you at your birthday. Senior moment.
Momentary. Senior moment. Thank you. I knew you were going to say a stinker. Approval of the class of 2025 booster fundraiser. Presenter Teresa Sanders. I don't know if Teresa's in. Oh, I see Teresa. Teresa, are you here? Are you unmuted? Not unpaused.
Yes, I'm here.
Good evening.
Hello, happy birthday.
Thank you.
So the class of 2025 parent boosters would like to do the holiday ornament that we had done last year. We do not have a design yet. We are working on that, but yeah, we were just wondering if we were able to do it again.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the class of 25 booster fundraiser.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jamie, are you abstaining?
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Okay, so we have four ayes, so motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, Smarty Pants Ryan, we're moving on to the approval of the CTO SLO overnight out of state field trips by Christy Kershaw. Good evening, Christy.
Good evening. Well, you're not quite a senior because you haven't reached the 50-year mark, and you are making me feel young, okay?
You
So
are
the
young.
CTS,
You were
can you hear
just
me?
Started. Yes, we can.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, wasn't it? So if you look at that, really, if you guys have any questions, what we did is we put out all of our CTSO student leadership organizations, FBLA, Skills USA, and FFA for state and national conferences. Some of those are out of state. And then we did have a few outings that would be potentially overnight if we look at college tours and or some other leadership conferences. So we just listed those, and mind you that we do know that we will not attend some of those if we're called off because of COVID and health protocols.
Okay, thank you.
I'll move for the approval of CTSLO overnight out-of-state field trips.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Christy. Discussion and approval of policy 2255, alternative learning experience courses, first reading. So there'll be no action.
This policy just adds the East Grace Harbor High School Open Doors program and the Eagle Sky Virtual Academy language to our availability for online ALE programming. Just making sure that we have all of our schools delivering this format, included.
Bernadette, do we need a motion for it? Because it says and approval.
This is the first reading, so we're going to have to move it on to a second reading. Yes, Chris?
We vote and approve each reading, so we would vote.
Okay. Yep, for the first reading. Yep.
Okay, then I'll make a motion for the approval of policy 2255, alternative learning experience courses, first reading.
I'll second it.
Okay, I'm giving that to Ryan.
Okay.
Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Okay, thank you, Jody. All right, all in favor. Enrollment, Mr. Nesmith.
So hang on. I'll see that. Okay, so our enrollment at Elma Elementary is up by about 11 students. Elma Middle School is up by about 6. The high school we're down by about 36 FTE. So this is our FTE count. The nice part with the addition of the Eagle Sky Virtual Academy, we are up by about 33 FTE. So currently we are at 1,504 full-time student enrollments for our student count.
Chris, can you refresh my brain on what we budgeted on?
We are about 18 students above budgeted value. So we budgeted on we budgeted on our average from last year, which is 18 FTE under this.
Thank you.
We're up 18.
Okay. Okay.
And Chris, in our Eagle Sky Academy, are we seeing that starting to get some momentum?
We are. Ms. Allaire has just done an incredible job providing those online supports, and we have a lot of families looking for an alternative way to connect their students to an education at the Elma School District. So we should be close to, if not at, close to about 50 FTE for our next count next month.
Great.
That's great news.
Yep. Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the budget report. Lisa?
Okay, sorry, I couldn't unmute. I don't have a budget report right now. It's year end. So I'm in the middle of doing all my year end adjustments. So I can give you guys an accurate figure.
Okay.
I can give you guys a guess now, but we haven't finished payroll to know what accruals are. Brought in our grant accruals. I still have one more to claim on. But right now, cash wise, I can tell you, it looks like we're going to end up with maybe about 1.4 million in the bank, a little up than I first predicted. Any questions?
Nope. Anyone else have any comments or questions for Lisa?
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Superintendent report.
Yes, sorry, I had to unmute. This is something that we would like to present on. This is here because we're really early in the completion of our COVID dashboard. But I'm going to go ahead and share it. You can find this on, so if I go back to the main homepage of the Elma School District website, you can find this right here on health and wellness. And now we actually have the up-to-date figures of our COVID dashboard available. We know that we have a lot of questions on how many case counts are out. Isabella Cristelli has been working on this. It's been a huge project. We've been really clear that we really want to have a lot of transparency with our community on our COVID cases. Big question though is, what are we allowed to share? This is the information that does fall within our availability to share when we come back and ask our public health department. As we'll see, we've had about
Sorry, my dog.
no worries, Elma Elementary. Total reported cases of about 1 active case. So our Elma Elementary, we even though a lot of students have shown up symptomatic, our actual case count has been pretty low. Student reported cases at Elma Middle School is running about 8, and reported cases for staff at 1. But at Elma High School, we're running about 21 reported cases, total reported cases, 20 student cases, and 1 staff case. So Elma High School is really making up the bulk of our student case count. We do have families that are curious about how will my student be quarantined. We do, and I think Stephanie brought this up, have a link to our Elma School District flow chart on what kind of scenarios would lead to a student going into quarantine and how quarantine would happen. This is actually what we received from the Elma Health Department, the Grace Harbor Public Health Department, but adjusted for the Elma Learn to Return plan. So the Public Health Department has one version out, but we have an approved plan for exclusively the Elma School District. And this has been adjusted for that plan, which allows us for more PCR testing to have our students come back quicker. With that in mind, tomorrow from 3 to 7 at the Elma Transportation Department, we will be doing community testing. And this is a really big deal for us. We have a home football game on Friday. We've had to cancel 2 football games already. And it is my goal that those are the only 2 we'd be canceling this entire season. I'd really like that to be the end. So if we have families that are looking at going to the football game and aren't certain if they have COVID or if there's a COVID case, we really ask that our community members take advantage of the community-wide testing prior to attending the football game on Friday. So then that way you would know if you do have a case, you don't attend, we don't have a super spreader event, and we don't have to miss another football game. So families that might have a question, please take advantage of our testing. This is a proactive measure to keep our players out and engaged. So those are about the 3 big things I have. I think Izzy's going to be putting an email out to families on our COVID dashboard so families can see where we are, can see where our accounts are. I think the one big reason why we have to put out, I will add, is it's not working on cell phones right now. So it's not showing exactly as we'd like, but they're a huge step in the right direction.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Okay, a presenter for the student representative from Delaney Hanson.
Okay, so our leadership students amongst many of our classes like 0 hour and the regular leadership class, they've been going over ways that they can plan homecoming events and like the dance itself as safe as possible, but that in a way that's still like fun for students to actually go. And many students have started their running start classes this past Monday, including myself, and it's been really nice. I feel like a lot of people have been really enjoying it so far. Next week, FFA is going to be having short live streams on their Instagram account every day, and each day is going to be featuring a different FFA advisor and also a different portion of what FFA has to offer. And so like one day will be the garden, one day will be the aquaponics room, and then like the metal and wood shops, and then one day is like competitions, like things like that. And then the last thing that I have is that the homecoming shirt order forms have been put out at the high school, and so students can find them online. They were posted, I think they were posted on Instagram, or I think we got email from Miss Sievers, but they're also at the school. So yeah, the kids can go pick them up if they want a shirt. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you so much, Delaney. I also want to touch on the topic that Superintendent Nesmith and I had the opportunity to meet with Delaney and talk about kind of onboarding her into this position. And we're really excited to welcome you to the board as a student representative. And I'm very excited to see what you have to bring as a voice from your student peers. So thank you very much for stepping forward in this position. And I'm very excited to see what happens. So,
thank you. I did find a sophomore who was interested, and she's, I believe, in the process of filling out her application. So hopefully another representative coming in soon.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Delaney. At this time, we'll go ahead and we're going to convene into executive session for about 20 minutes to review performance of a public employee with no action to be taken. Everyone be well, be safe. And we
really,
yeah, go ahead.
Really quickly, sorry. Can I just would like to make mention, just on behalf of the board, our condolences and thoughts and prayers with the Fork School District. They had a pretty tragic accident this last week with the loss of some high school students. So could we have Candace have a card that we could get ready to send to the Fork School District? It's a pretty tragic loss for them. So just wanted to say we were thinking of them.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I'll reach out to Candace. If Chris doesn't, I will. Chris, will you handle that with Candace?
I will work on that with Candace.
Okay, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Thank you again, Stephanie, for that. Okay, so we will convene to executive session with no action being taken. Everyone have a great night. Be safe and be well.
I have emailed out a link for the executive session meeting, and then Eric, can you leave this meeting open for us, please?
Yeah, do you know how long
Thank you.
executive session? Do we have a time frame?
We are for
20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay.
at 7:08 PM. Eric, are you able to promote our board members so we can vote to close the meeting?
Yes, I'm doing that now. I thought that, actually, I thought it would bring him right back in, but. I think everybody should be back in now.
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
And a motion made and second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Happy birthday.
Night.
Thanks for
Yeah.
the,
Night.
thanks for
Happy
the shout out on my birthday. Good night, everyone.
Good night.